Okay, so today we are going to do activity 2, Excel activity 2. Some of the functions are going to be the same as what we did, like when it asked you to bold something. So if it asks you to bold a group of cells, you're just going to hit the bold like we would in Microsoft Word. But some of the things are new, like formulas. A formula is something that adds up. It's like a math equation. But instead of X, Y's, and Z's, we have cells, right? And the cell is an intersection between a column and a row. So instead of putting X in there, we're going to put the cell in there. So eyes here, if you're going to touch your computer, turn your monitor off if it's just too intriguing over there. So we're going to start with an equal sign. And what I want to add is John's quiz 1, quiz 2, and quiz 3. So if I click on there, it's going to do a C9. Does everybody see that? Then I hit a plus sign, D9, plus sign, E9. When I press enter, it automatically added that up for me. Does everybody see that? Okay. So once again, you just say equals C10 plus D10 plus E10. Okay? So that is a formula. It's just the math equation written out. Now a function is a shortcut. Okay, a function is a shortcut. So to do a function, we come up here to the Home tab and see this sigma sign, this E-looking thing here? That is the sum button. If I press this, it'll just do sum. Or if I use the drop-down box, it'll give me different choices for different functions. So for this one, I just want to do a sum. So I'm going to come down here and say sum. And then I'm going to highlight C10, D10, and E10. This is a range of cells. So C10 colon E10 is a range of cells. So that colon in between indicates that that's a range. So if I said C10 to F10 or Z10, it would include all of those in between. So in the parentheses it has C10 to E10. I'm adding these up. It highlights it for me. If I wanted, I can just highlight and it'll put those automatically in there. I don't have to type them out. Eyes here, hands off your computers, please. Turn the monitor off. Thank you. So when you press enter, it automatically adds that up. Now, we could go do this for each one, right? Or, what's another option we could do? What did we do yesterday? Yep. It's okay. Go ahead and answer. Give it a guess. I'm waiting. Yep. So what can I do to make these automatically go down? Yesterday, we did a drag thing that made it go down. Do you guys remember that? The fill? The fill. Remember when we took the fat little plus sign to the skinny little plus sign? You guys remember that? So we're going to take this fat little plus sign, take it to a skinny little bitty plus sign. And when we do that, we're going to click and drag. See how that worked? That's what's so awesome about spreadsheets, is it just did all that but work for you. Okay? So that's the fill button. That's the fill. We had two ways that we could do it. You can take it, which I think is the easiest, and just take your fat plus sign down to the fill handle, which is that little square box right here. It becomes a skinny plus sign. And you can click and drag it down. Another option that you can do is you can highlight and you can go to the fill down, and it'll automatically do it for you that way too. To me, that's more steps, so I just like to go use the fill handle and drag it down. So that's our autofill. So then it just took all those formulas or functions. If I use here, it's a formula. If I use here, it's a function, right? So if I hit Control tilde, or I go to formulas, I'll make this a little bigger for you real quick. Show formulas. So you guys see the difference here? If you look at F9, that is a formula. If you look at F10, that is a function. See the difference between those two? A formula is a written out math equation. A function is a shortcut. Okay? And the way that I showed my formulas is I just went to show formulas on the formula button. That's something you might want to write down because you will have to do that sometimes when you print. So I went to formulas, and then I went to show formulas. And what that does is it shows you your formulas. So sometimes when I print, I'll say, print me a formula page and a regular page. Your regular page looks like this, and your formula page is going to look like this. Okay. So formulas, show formulas. Okay. Then, here at the bottom, there's going to be an average, maximum, minimum. Does everybody see that? This is where we're going to use the different kinds of functions. So we use the sum function, right, that added things up. These are going to be functions that are shortcuts that automatically average a group of numbers, that automatically find the biggest or the largest number, the maximum, or find the smallest number, which is the minimum function. Everybody with me so far? So we are going to go to the average function first. So where am I going to go for that? I'm going to go to the Home tab. And we have these auto sums. Now, could I come here to the formula button and do it here too? Yes. But no need to click off. We're not doing any functions that are so difficult that you need to go to that formula or function tab to get yours. So, when we're down here, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so you can see the whole thing of what I'm getting ready to do. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to choose the average. Then I'm going to highlight the range of cells. I don't want to just press enter because it had extra cells in there. So C9 to C42 is what I averaged. Does everybody see how I just did that? Then I'm going to press enter and it's going to automatically average those. So once again, I put my cursor, I select the cell that I want the answer to show up in. I come to the drop-down box and I choose average. This is the average function that we are using. A function is a shortcut. Then it gives me extra, right? So I'm going to come choose my range of cells, which is C9 to C42, and press enter. Now I'm going to come here and I'm going to format that so it doesn't have any decimal places because I want it to match here. So see here on the Home tab where it says number right here? This is where we can decrease or increase our decimal places. So the arrow pointing to the left increases, the arrow pointing to the right decreases. Once I've done that, I can just take my fat little plus sign to a skinny little plus sign and drag it across, and it automatically did that for every column. Okay, so then we're going to come do the max, or the maximum. We're going to come up here. We're going to select the max. Right now, it just is selecting that cell above. So we want to select cell C9 to C42. Press enter, and then just drag that across. Tell me, write down, all of you right now, the smallest number in quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3 in total. Everybody write it down, the smallest number in each column. Yep, do it. Write it down real quick. Let's see if your way's faster or my way. Smallest number in each column. Done. Anybody else done? Does anybody have one? You have one column done. I just did all 4 of mine. 60, 68, 68, and I can't see that one, 200. Okay? So, the idea of spreadsheets is this makes it faster for you. There's less room for human error if you write your formulas and functions correct, and it should make your life easier. At the end of the day, computers should make your life easier. It's faster to do this if you know how to do it. If I had to add up all 3 of these each time, would it take longer? It would than when I just did it once and drug it down, right? So the idea is that this makes life a little easier, especially when you're dealing with a large amount of information like you might have in a spreadsheet. Eyes here, please stop touching your computers. Thank you. Okay. Now, let's say I want this to fit all on one page. I do that. And we did this yesterday too. We talked about this, but I'm going to show you again for those of you who weren't here. We go to page layout, and we say width one page, and we say height one page. There is also the option under the print. So if you do Control P, and there's a print, you can do fit to one page. You can do it that way too. There's no right or wrong answer there. I prefer to do page layout with one page, height one page, because then I can see that I've done it and I don't accidentally forget to do it or something. So I just sort of do that when I go in every time for these assignments. Okay? So Home tab is mostly what we use today. The Home tab is where we make, so we have larger decimal places or smaller amount of decimal places. So that's the Home tab under Number. It's where we use the bold and the underline. It's also where we got our auto sum, average, max, and min. And then you have the option here either to use the fill handle where you take the plus sign to a scalar plus sign and click and drag, or you can highlight and say fill down. Page layout is where we fit to one page, and formulas is where we said show formulas. So when I say show formulas now, it shows all the way down here. And I have you print those so I know that you're writing formulas and you're not taking the extra long way of going and finding the smallest number in each column. Okay? So that's a lot of new stuff. It's a lot of stuff you haven't seen necessarily before. We're going to spend lots of days practicing it. This is just our first day. Okay? All right, Excel 2 is all yours. Get to work.